This has been the biggest project we've been involved in.
By a long way, it's the biggest painting project I've been involved in.
The biggest project we've ever done.
I've never worked on a scale like that.
You know, I'll never get to work on anything as big as that again.
Massive, massive.
One of the largest paintings in the world.
Hackney Wick historically was an important neighbourhood for street art and artists in London and the UK. It at one point had the highest concentration of artists living anywhere per square mile, I think in the world.
Hackney Wick's a fantastic example of a community. You know, it's like an old-fashioned village. You walk around the streets and you bump into people that you know all the time.
There's still a lot of artists here, but it's dwindling now. I think people are starting to move away.
Yeah, I had a studio in Hackney Wick 15 odd years ago. Yeah, and that's not there anymore. My studio's now a trendy home brewery place and pizza place.
Right now, it's a building site, so cranes, high-vis jackets, steel toe-cap boots, and hard hats.
This project in particular is an example of connecting the developers into that network, making them feel that they're part of the community. It makes them feel responsible almost.
This is the first time that I've painted anything on the floor, and the first time I've painted anything to this scale.
Definitely back-breaking work. Like, to paint 17,500 square metres, not just with, 6 tons of paint overall, but by hand. This wasn't done with paint sprays, this was done with 18-inch wide rollers.
There was one guy brought along sort of digital pedometer, and he worked out that he was doing 15 kilometres a day on the site, and he wasn't walking as much as I was.
I think this might be the only time I've used a grid. Because this was so big and we couldn't see what we were doing, we kind of felt that gridding it out was probably the only way we could do it.
So each letter was about 20 square metres, each letter, which is huge.
Sketching up was really difficult just because you couldn't see what you're doing. And when letters are that big and you can't see what you're doing, it's a bit of a challenge.
Ben came in to mark out and I could see him slightly veering off. And on on such a huge scale, if you veer off a tiny bit at the start, by the time you reach 200 metres, it's going to be well off.
Like, once we had the letters sketched up and the letters looked good, then it was just a case of just filling it in with thousands of gallons of paint.
I was really chuffed because he actually asked me, he gave me a roll, he went, "Andre, I want you to paint the letters." So I went round, painted the outlines of the letters and people filled them in. So for me, that was, that was a bit of an honour that he asked me to do that.
Well, I think one of the main roles that I had personally in this was organising the paint. So working with Forest Recycling Project to secure and produce those kind of volumes of paint and figure out a method of how to get, well, how much paint we needed and how to get enough of it with them.
When Lee came to me, first off, I was joking. Like, I didn't think he was actually going to go ahead with the scale of it. So in total, there was about 3,200 litres of paint. In fact, it's like we reuse paint to do it. Like, this artwork they've created with reclaimed materials, nothing new or anything like that. And that makes it feel that much better.
Yeah, working with volunteers is quite funny. Like, I don't think they appreciated how dirty they were going to get.
Jeans that I wore every day, and that is how messy you get when you're helping Ben out on a painting.
The most satisfying thing is then looking around at the end and being like, we were part of that, we helped that happen. If it wasn't for us and if it wasn't for so many other people, this thing couldn't have happened.
Yeah, it was incredible. I don't know anybody that's done anything quite like this.